The question that many ask is that how does that relate to the compilation of the voters register? And that's why there's been a bit of agitation around the nation and so on in certain quarters. How does it link? If you're going to buy a new system, buy it. What has it got to do with compiling a voters register? And a lot of people have raised that question as we went along, that go ahead and buy the system. It shouldn't have anything to it, but leave the register as it is. And the answer has been very simple. As experts advised us right from the onset that in acquiring the new system, you would be changing the operating system of the biometric voter, the system operating the biometric voter management system. And it meant that you had to migrate the data. You had to migrate the data from the old system to the new system. The result was that you could risk, and we did stand to risk losing a lot of data of citizens who had registered. The result would be that you would go on registration, you go on voting day, and your names were missing from the register. And this was not a risk that we wanted to take, because it meant that several people, and you could not tell who, but as you migrated from the old system onto the new system, you risk losing a lot of data. And I can imagine the fury and the uproar that would go on in this country if people go to the on voting day to vote and their names were not captured. In their view, this was a big risk, and we felt that we didn't want to go forward with this risk. In their view also, the quality of the fingerprints raised issues. The capture of the fingerprints was poorly done in several instances. And even as you migrated, you risk losing even the images, the quality of the images, even as you migrated. And the result was that you would end up with a high incidence of manual verification, which we have come to observe. And I mean, because the fingerprints quality is so low, when you go on election day and you're trying to verify, you realize that your fingerprints cannot be captured. We cannot verify you using your unique identity, which is your fingerprints. What happens then is that, well, you come with a card and we allow you to vote. This could lead to manipulation in the sense that the card may not belong to you, and because we don't have the feature for facial recognition, you could come in with a card and you're allowed to vote. And anybody, if there's collusion at that level, at the polling station level, it could lead to a high incidence of manual verification. Indeed, it was something we were beginning to witness. And if you look at even the 2019 district level election, of the 5,400, a little over 5,400 persons who were verified to vote, 35,000 of them were manually verified. And that's a significant number. If you come to look at the fact that in 2008, the difference between the winner and the runner-up was less than 40,000. And here we are only talking about 5,400 people who were verified during the district level election. Of that number, 35,000 were manually verified, which means that their fingerprints were not... Sorry. 5.4 million people. 5.4 million people. Yes, 5.4 million people, and 35,000 were manually verified. But if you look at the situation in 2012, the difference between the winner and the runner-up, it was less than 40,000. So this is significant, and these are risks. If we really want to ensure the credibility of our elections and ensure that the will of the people really stands, then these are issues of concern that we should look at. And so the main reason, as I have mentioned, for our decision was that changing the operating system, migrating the old data to the new data, you were going to risk losing a lot of data. Secondly, the fingerprints capture was poorly done, and it meant that it would even lose its quality. And in the end, you have a register, a biometric register, where the fingerprints that you have becomes useless, and a lot more people will be manually verified. The Commission felt that it was important that its foundation document, that is the voters' register, was credible and robust. And these are some of the reasons that we chose to compile, the register.